While boy want one in a New York, want one in a Paris too. Still never check the one I. Still him gone abroad. Remember where him grandmother and him grandfather said, "Land fi dance higher."
Yes, indeed. 1212 Radio Culture. One two Radio Culture. Yes, indeed. The time is now. We do apologize for the 1 hour delay. Our special guest had some important stuff he had to deal with first, so we had to give him the time of day. Don't know. But yes, indeed, the time is now, the hour is 9, and we are here right now to talk about some very important things. If you are on social media and if you have been following, you see this, the Rasta community, or the conscious community, as I would like to call it, because of the, different, bits and pieces of things that will come into the definition. I'll just use a broad brush to say that the conscious community in Ghana has a certain community, has a certain dialogue that goes on social media. And this guest that we have today is a very vital part of that conversation. Needless to say, a lot of the times what he says is misunderstood or sometimes maybe even misrepresented by people. So oftentimes you go on the social media page and you see a lot of back and forth. People might think that that is argument. Well, I think that is reasoning. Sometimes that reasoning is lost in the back and forth. So we decided to bring it on today under the limelight and speak about it freely. Some of these things that we see this brother talk about that some of us cannot too much connect with. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the utterances of one man called AGYABA OPUNI. Blessed love AGYABA OPUNI. Welcome to Radio Culture. One love AGYABA OPUNI.
Yeah, hello, one love, Raz, one love.
Yeah, man. Give thanks. Nana, give thanks for taking the time to speak with us and everything. You're not Japan, you're the CP. And I know say you're also on the move and everything because we even had to, postpone the thing, but you put your things aside to come and do this. What? Hello?
Yeah, hello, Raz.
Yeah.
Please come clear for let me hear you well.
Yo, me patrojina ye man crap because me te nebi weche. I don't really even hear you talking. I just hear somebody screaming in the back. Meaning say obetime jina ye kakra maya.
No. No. I'm alone.
Okay, yo, nice. Nana, let's start a conversation now. Me pese yenya certain things clear, okay. Right? Yenya definitions be clear so that later on in the conversation we can put those things in context, in the proper context. What is your understanding of Rastafari? I guess a Rastafari, and no to you, no, no need the idea.
Okay, first and foremost, me and the pa, remember obi a wotie me na obi a wohwe me and the pa say abre wotie Radio Culture, right?
Yes, Radio Culture.
Okay, into me ma obi biara wotie we ase afana ni Ghana man Africa nyina me obi a and the pa send e bia kan asem ko bi be ka se me chia omo anam chia Ghana for anam chia wiase nyina no ye akanka sem no ye nchia because o chia pe na ade nyina chia na wa chia bibia na bibia sei nti na se bi ye ne bibia ano any nipa so sene sena efata sene ubusa said the Rastafari no Rastafari ni gina homa suban pa enipa abrabopa ni ese na efata ene ya obeya society ana womanfo ana womame wabusua nkofo ombe sene wo ye ne ye ade a eso ani na ese na efata nti Rastafari na ye chi ni nyina no ana baby ana efi Jamaica Howell who Leonard Howell ono na edi mu akotene in the 1930s o making sure say omusuban omu be making sure so be focus on omu ne ye ne omu abrabo ewo omu bibre amane ene omu amemre which is their tradition and culture as an Africans until they decided say they will focus on African tradition and African culture. So by that way, it's only they have to do what is right and what is righteousness and what is perfect and what is good. Which if we bring it to our African way of life, and then you na ampa usubane woni ye no se na ufata society nbe usampa usefata it's in your Rastafari and na the Jamaica friend Rastafari ni unite homa abrabo any subaya ese na efata any ye pa ntinana na kakra mechemu ho
yo ye be say about honum subio but before that no mami san bisa obio you see yourself as a Rastafari, right? As a Rasta man, true?
Yes, I see myself as a ura or seno fata, and I may be a may person me yen sena efata, na me ya abrabo sena efata, na me for me mind for me crop for a musa ampa, many ura me sena me fata, na ye yaseme semenyo, I because a sala na yasu. Yasu said, do this is what is right is this, do that, don't do this, don't sit here, don't put it there, don't do this. What I've been commanded to do, no, that is what is right for me to do, which is Yasemi semi you, and then it's Yasu, San Yasu.
Okay.
It's yes, would you I will say now, Fata, Nanya Yasu, and a warrior.
Mate.
Now,
you know, Twasso, sorry.
Yeah, it's yen we are now, Omuko and Kwasuna, Ebeka, Omuko Jamaica. Amanone omuko kwasumuno omuno ehu se ampa omu ye ebibrefo enti omu ne ye no omu bibia no omu focus ni na beba de ebibremu akire ewia se no omu yirai omu achi they've not lost their roots and their culture like radio culture who want to bring the tradition and the custom and the cultures of African and our movements and everything to limelight, They will never lose that concept. It's Jamaica for any Dimwa Kotine, who say Omuna, Omuyeni, Sena Efata, Ana Omuni, Omuana, Omu Ebibrima, they were doing what is right and righteousness. So, Leonard Howell, I know Oye Christo, I know Anglican Church. Oh, Jamaica, that time, I decided to say, Obe make it say, the coronation of His Imperial Majesty 1930. Omu will say no. Sena be before no. Ye wo fahudie. Ewo buta ewe nidaswo. Say ye na Marcus Garvey mu ka say ebibimai ewa adepa. Ebibimai wa hemfo. Ebibimai wo kukudam ewo titifo ewo heroes. Ye baka say heroes no. Ampa na Marcus Garvey mu dim. Professor, I say, come on, say, my yira yachi, yaya yaba kwasum, yaya yaba Bruni Krumu, yaya yaba Atichimu, my yira yachi, Umayan Kai say, Yahim for ne, Yahim for Omuda Sotiasi, Omahino, and say in chat, and it always exists and it always go on and it always go on, as tradition always go on. It's in Marcos Gabriel, and Edimakutne advocate. And a man, Leonard Howard, so a year that time, no, like a student around, and who said, no, the young penny phony be cano, and make sense, say, yeah before it's yesi abraboni ni no eye ne yesen na de efata it's omo ne di mo akotene mobilize to make a for e ka say no yeah before yeah abrofo mamu me yira ye tetrema nana ye ka patwa kasa no eye titimrem no akakasa no u ka brofo kasa ye say hey e dey kasa poto na u ka no e dey kasa poto na u ka say u ka poto kasa and yen crofo mu konko aso no mayira omo tetrema na omayira enyema bi no mama ne ami omama ne ene omo tradition bi no omo realize say no ye kasa na ye kan na ye poto kasa na ye na nanu musi ye say ye ka poto kasa no eno na ye friend patwa no a ebi mu kan patwa ne kire say poto kasa say bro focasa na ye mpe na nanu no na ye titi mu omo mpe say ye beka abrofo kasa no ye say o kasa na sa kasa no time because enye ye tetrema so enkra for efre abrofo kasa no Ekrafo fre abrofokasa ni say full because they speak very slow. They don't speak very fast like the way Africans we so-called black people, because I don't call ourselves blacks. I used to post that on social media, say we are not blacks because black stand for wickedness.
Why does black stand for wickedness though? I know nothing. Black then they stand for wickedness.
We'll come there.
Good. Because me ankasa questions ankasa may be sound just foundation questions. So I'm just
sometimes we feel sometimes we feel back, and you claim I make a cry.
Oh, I apologize. I hope so. Tim can you say?
Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah,
good. Well, yeah, now make us say black now say it's standing for wickedness to by all means, because I'm very interested in that. But to say, we were just trying to start the conversation with those foundations. Say, okay, you define it, Rasta. Now, you define it, where you yourself find yourself within that mindset. Now, maybe can be intermediate connected, right? Because, okay, say, Rasta, for instance, we know, say, Rasta is a movement. It started at a certain point. I know part of it. So what can with the, the Marcus Garvey connection and all of that. And we know definitely that we are talking about the same thing here. Okay. Now, when it gets to that now, everybody also knows that Rasta has a connection with Haile Selassie. But who said, I've watched a lot of interviews from you near there. Some of it, you try to make it sound as if say, okay, Rasta, there's just about, like you said, you had some definition for it like that. Yeah, and also so the etymology, the use of the words and all that. And also in a second. But are we talking about the same Rastafari? Because if you're talking about Rastafari, then the connection to Haile Selassie, whose name is Rastafari, cannot be taken for granted, cannot be deleted.
Yeah, like I'm saying, Rastafari, which is Haile Selassie I, being the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords and the mighty conquering lion, as we always known and always say, yes, he's the King of Ethiopia and he's the God and Almighty, and as always we keep saying, what it means, lack of our people as dreadlocks, even the whole world. And it starts from our own, within our African continent. It tells say we don't 99% understand what that concept means and what that movement stands for and what it means. Now social media has come. If you Google what is Rastafari, it will give you all the definitions and where it originates and what it started and the movement it took off forth from all about.
Mm-hmm.
You see, which we shouldn't have this kind of, excuse me to say, you need lack of knowledge. Sometimes we just can say Rastafari come from Africa. Africa, your friend will be Rastafari. Africa, your friend will be Rastafari. So if you don't understand what Jamaica, as Leonard Howell and Marcus Garvey, them and those days, people who were advocating for black supremacy and black consciousness and black roots and culture, no, were telling, say, Rastafari movement, they are having a movement called the Rastafari movement, where we today as Africans, most of us don't understand what it means. And we only took it, say, it's about dreadlocks, wearing red, gold, green, having Haile Selassie's picture in front of the t-shirts, and then playing reggae music or going to studio or having time on you and say, you are that, or, excuse me, smoking the herbs, which is the marijuana, we call the weed, and then we say, yes, I'm a Rasta man, I'm a Rastafari, I'm Selassie. And then when even sometimes you don't mention the name of Selassie, somebody will tell you, you are not Rasta, you are not.
But that is the point, though. That is the point, though, because AGYABA. That is the point, though, because but maybe say, if you do not hail Haile Selassie, why do you want to call yourself a Rasta man? Why don't you? Because call Senegal, for instance.
And this
Mebao. You were the group called the Bifal, right? The Bifal dread. The Bifal, no, dread, very rootical people. Teaching one set of beliefs, they are dread, very, very, very cultural. They don't try to barge into Rasta and say there be Rasta near Rasta na Rasta you say to say by far, right? They carve their own niche. So if we have a mindset that doesn't fall within the teaching, say Haile Selassie is Rastafari, why doesn't that belong to another set? Why does it have to force to be Rastafari?
I beg me patro as black akra bra we chika krama no e honum kakra na menti question as
yo question na maybe sani say yo question na maybe sani say say I work as I know say sometimes
say omom ye biafra
by far for no then okay good but me just say my who can say even if you don't mention the name of Rastafari, if you don't hail the name of Haile Selassie, then people want to say that means say you are not Rasta. And I may make say the original concept of Rasta, as we understand it, as a lot of us understand it now, it has an inalienable link with Rastafari, Haile Selassie, right? Meaning say Haile Selassie din anymore. You really cannot say that is Rasta. Okay? And you say, concept be a no. Haile Selassie din anymore. Why don't you find another name for it? I didn't know to mean Jina and Onkwan and so. I didn't know what said no by force a baba shit Rasta there now and no your concept a what that man for follow that anymore.
Very good. Very good. Very good. And see, this is where I always post and put a post say most of my people lack the concept and the understanding of what the whole movement or the Rastafari concept is all about. And then some people were like, oh, this guy, what is he saying? It's crazy, man. He's saying something rubbish. Because we don't understand. Even from the point of the question you asking me, say we simply don't understand what it is.
How so?
Very good. Because say like I was saying, we can say, oh, Fred Rastafari, Haile Selassie, and now we are the righteous person. Calling the name Haile Selassie, who are you?
Okay, now be clear. And yes, no, we're saying two things. Okay, say righteous person, and we are different. I don't think so. Be a case if you are not Rasta, you are not righteous. That's another different argument altogether. I think what the discussion is, they say, if you want to identify as Rasta, especially if you are trying to explain a concept, and as if you're trying to explain a philosophy, a doctrine, and whatever you want to call it, person would say no more say, and no, yeah, lay down. Bibia what person will passing it on, right? And I mean say Rasta no a concept that the amount for I explained it for years, which is based on the divinity of Haile Selassie the First. Whether that's true, whether that's good or bad, whether that's true or not, and me just say if you have a concept that does not accept this why doesn't that stand on its own feet? I didn't sound to say okay, me OPUNI, me imagine into no concept we are me de ba ye. The OPUNIites, a philosophy, for instance. Why can't you do that?
Yeah, that's in the pipeline. That's what we're advocating, and we try to give some statements and some kind of posts to just, trick the mind of the socials to see, say, this guy, what is he trying? Because the social media is there for the mind game, and the mind, it's about mind. I think using the mind, what we're using the mind, it's about mind. That's why we don't come physical. So it's about, what this guy is trying to say. Can I understand him? No, I don't have, no, this guy is going, yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, the concept which you're saying is about Haile Selassie, and I should have my philosophy, and I can't have, there's no my philosophy, and there's no any other philosophy than the same philosophy, which is the same and the truth.
And it's called Rastafari.
You said?
And that philosophy is called Rastafari. That truth you refer to, no, it's called Rastafari.
That philosophy is called righteousness. That philosophy is called righteousness, which the name Ethiopian King of Kings, Emperor Haile Selassie, who was born the late Tafari or Ras Tafara Makoni, who was born that in the 1892, who lived that righteous life to attain that height of the name of Uriah Senwafata by his good deeds and his good morals and his good character and his good being born from the royal traditional home of Africa continent. Say Africa for what amamre any amania any obuo any enibie any subaipa comparing to the Western culture. So this man was able to elevate the tradition of subaipa, abrabopa, unity, love, oneness. See how he went through this Ethiopian and Italian aggression. See how he went through pain. See how he suffered upon all those kind of issues and tragedies and all kind of whatever. No, he still have this ambrassier to even go down to his knees to just bring the world, Italians and other, for him to be interviewed by one Italian journalist called Oriana Fallacy, where that time we got the name, what people used to say, this person is a fallacy or he's speaking fallacy. Sometimes somebody say OPUNI is speaking fallacy. The name fallacy got from this woman who was a journalist from Italy.
No, that's not true. Fact check, that's not true. Fact check, that's not true. Because the word fallacy existed before 1930 or 1932 or whenever it is this interview happened. It cannot be.
Listen to me clear, Raz. Listen to me clear. What I'm meaning is the woman was called Oriana Fallacy, and this name Fallacy is an existed name, like you are saying, of course. That doesn't mean if somebody, listen to me and listen where I'm trying to make the point so that you get me clear. Make sure woman after Ethiopia, the name will not hear about Haile Selassie say, because somebody will be called Rastafari or Selassie, and me will call myself Rastafari or Selassie. I stand for Subaipa, any Abramopa, like Haile Selassie na ye boni dinya na ye si o ye nyankopon. Obeda sa Subaina di say, ye ye bedi na chi nyina no. Ye sua sa ni Subaipa no ene na bra when na ho brasie, ene ne dog.
Nana, Matthew was here perfectly. But you see, we have to be careful when we are putting statements out because fact is sacred. Fact is sacred. So, for instance, if you say the word fallacy came into being because of that woman, it will make a lot of other things are working on. Matthias.
Don't get me wrong, Raz.
Okay.
Let me make it that point clear. Matthias. Let me make it sense.
Me too.
Which I say, woman. After Ethiopian and Italian issue, it was very difficult. Somebody would get chance to interview His Majesty because I said, "We need Bebusia for one topa." Anna says, "Antopa na say a trap." But I say, "You Bebusia on same."
Animosity was hostile.
Wakuma ato yam.
Yes.
Ama Antopano ampa ya wa uko muni ateti ya uko muni ano. Every woman ana. Na ye pesi ehu nipa ban ni usubai crowd yo. Say utimi when ye Italy for ye dey unyina echi no. Utimi san ba Italy say upe say ye nya world unity we asen kabom na ye nyina ye kabom. So the woman was, it's in the Yahoo. This, what I'm saying, is in the Yahoo. So the woman found it very difficult. If you read the interview, the woman said she found it very difficult to even have His Majesty to interview. And when he got that interview, he was like, and His Majesty still said in the same interview, said, yes, he wants the world to have this interview to know and have the knowledge of what he is about. So what he took, he said, the Oriental fallacy, the name is called Oriental fallacy. Fallacy. But the questions the woman put His Majesty to know, the interview the woman put His Majesty to know, made the woman became like Wakan Kwasiasem. And being her name being the fallacy, no, it became
now super pepper.
And a fallacy now go interview His Majesty. Now I'm patriotic, I see.
Matilda, what can I say? But let's move on. Yeah, because
it's in the dino. I say, who can't some the patriot too? And penny some American. It's in the dino. I say, who can't some no one can answer someone. Now you refer say what I say fallacy. The Okoka or Kubusa His Majesty now went to me with an answer same piano. Out to Papa so no. Sa interview even I say, and as a question even will be SOB Saudi. It's I say you Busa me asem. Now mention me and ye. And I'm able to be as a number to me with Sana Semi. Say you are speaking like fallacy.
Okay.
It's like you are a good player, or you play like Messi, or you know, say Messi is a good player. Then somebody plays similar good skills. They can refer you as Messi, that you play like Messi. And if you do wrong too, they can refer you, say you speak like Messi, or whoever who speak wrong. So I'm just saying, say this woman who interviewed His Majesty, who asks unnecessary questions to His Majesty, later being referred to other people who ask unnecessary questions, say, who Busa somewhere Musani ya say, who can fallacy. Just refer to
Matthias
the name fallacy means so be Matthias. That's what I mean.
Matthias, let's move on. Before that though, my main body real quick one be na Yentuaso. This program is supported by Dr.
network will sit in a clear one.
Mate, Radio Culture, by all means, Radio Culture transmitting online, which means that from Sydney to Saskatchewan, Obiati and Kasese, everywhere we're listening to you. But like I was saying, we're talking about DocPalm. DocPalm is the app that you need on your phone to get immediate medical attention. A app there or Ghana, for instance, especially or the Google phone this one say emergency be about who has no doctor because it be part make an medical condition be I was no doctor mudin kita home all the time or was app no phone this one say what tap this one it takes you straight to your doctor and then you communicate with them. More information on that coming. Meanwhile, let's listen to the messaging.
Abena, Emu Akwenya, morning doctor, aye appointment, Abra won't con clinic homebo, aye DocPalm. Abena, Emu on the doctor, aye video call, no showing him, no so training him, no show ya dear, I check your baye, Abra won't hospital homebo, Missy aye DocPalm. Abena, a multi-mission specialist there, no two for our pomade one, unto an amobia, may say aye DocPalm. Hey, DocPalm, I can't doctor Fokudam and Apomode me Fokudam, Nina Babigu Apiswa, the Yobiano, or what the best somewhere, Abranam to be anymore. DocPalm, AGYABA, Minia, or Play Store, and now App Store, net download the DocPalm since here. What a yadem.
Yes, indeed. A DocPalm, DOKPAM on the Play Store, and I say Apple, Google Store or Apple Play Store. Maybe Abekobiano, DOKPAM. No one downloading it. Come. That be I set. Okay, back on the line with AGYABA OPUNI. Question back. So I've been really itching to ask you. This. I said from when there was a church in Semono. You're connecting everything under the sun to the Twi language. Was Twi the first language on this earth, Anna?
I'm not exactly the word Twi, but it's Akan. We the continent of the. Hello?
Me too.
Akan. We won't say specific tree. Say it's about tree. The tree is like Ga or other language, but generally is the Akan, which is the Ifri Akan, the first people or the continent of the root of the continent is the African, the first people, which today our Western people who have this slow tongue.
But unim say nye yankasa na ye to ye ho Africa no. Unim say Africa no. Enye yankasa kra na ye to ye ho. Enti aba ni say na afa ye ko ye African. Okay. Me feel say a coincidence. Just sheer coincidence because Africa dankasa no. Enye din a ye na ye to ye ho. Enye yankasa na ye frɛ ye ho Africans. Who were named after Africanus, whatever his name was. Wohu. And you know, yeah, by the time that will be dear, you little, you know, after Ababe finding a way out to the point, after Ababe done it a free kind.
Very good. Wow. I like your very intelligent question you asked because this is the ignorance we've been through. And this is where we always find our only limits to say, oh, we all read the Africanus history and it's about Africanus, it's about Africanus. What African means? Or what Africanus means. What is Africa? Where is Africa? What are they trying to? Okay, me, the people who call us Africa, have no problem with them calling us Africa. But me being who I am knows that I'm the root of the first and of the root of the origin. And my tongue tells me that where I am and who I am is what I am. And that is me.
Yes.
So being myself as I've been created, you know, not being or wanted to be like somebody, you know, I won't bother myself to force myself to say we are this or we are that. I am who I am, and yes. I am the African.
The same on that line.
I'll come to your question.
Okay.
I'll come to the. You see, when you ask question, I try to bring some areas
background to it. Okay.
Before I'll bring you to the point.
Okay.
So before I will land you to the point, you know, you yourself will realize, yes, I've get myself understood.
Me too.
And this is where I'm taking you on. Yes. Because that's like I said, that was the ignorant.
What is the ignorance? What exactly is the ignorance? I will trade. Ignorance, then I will trade.
Ignorance, just said.
No, me just say, what's the ignorance idea? Who could shame? Me ignorance, I say. Me peace, I say. What's say be ignorance? I yen in idea who could shame. And I'm saying ignorance, bang, and I would just say idea who could shame. Say a jitum say Africa now,
yen ye dina. That's the history of the very good. That's the history of the concept of this so-called say. Reading the history of Africanus. Africanus was a Western philosopher who came to Africa and who came to discover Africa and who came to do this and the same narrative, the same passing on story. Now, nobody even dissect to have other concept or out of the box.
You can always have another concept too, but the truth is the truth. Fact is, that's why it says a fact. It's sacred. Etymology is one thing. To craft words and make it beautiful and to make other meanings, one thing. And to be honest with you, I have to give you your props.
We are not trying to craft words, right? The concept is the meaning, the sense. Make it sense. No credit the toward you. As some will be catcher. Who send a minion catcher, and on the be a major and it's always working in my mind. I'm finding it difficult to understand certain things in my mind. And therefore, a brother have said something which I'm now trying to connect to what he's saying. It's making sense to what I'm finding difficult to understand. So if you are able to understand, let me pause. Raz, who is a disabled? Let me ask you this question. Who is a disabled? I know that if you are not very intelligent and you are not very wise and this question I'm asking you, if you are not very intelligent to yourself and very clever and very wise and broad of knowledge, and of grammar and of understanding, you will only end up to answer, excuse me to use this word, say, you will only end up to answer the ignorant of what we all, me, myself.
Let's move the discussion forward. Mamin tell what, Mamin can tell what I know to be disabled. Disabled, no, it could be anybody because it's just being unable to function in one department or the other. It may be somebody can't walk. Maybe somebody cannot walk, so you think say that's disabled, but maybe you too cannot think properly, so you are disabled. And you know, those type of things, it's relative.
Able in other areas.
Yes, basically.
You are not able. But here comes say most of percentage of our population or our people have been ignorant to understand say you can't disable or you can't say handicap. Someone who is a handicapped person who will say be a sebi and an incentive. But any person who can function to use the hand to do anything with himself.
It's just like the concept of rich and poor. Okay, some money they think they are rich, but you could be rich in money and poor in health.
You can be handicapped
and poor in health,
and then you are handicapped.
Or poor in so many other different things, poor in mental capacity or whatever.
Most of us, like myself, yes, most of us, like myself, have been ignorant and then be only understood say you can't handicap and cripple and disable or this other or any other way, sir. It only end up to the person or the people we know, like
no.
And these are the ignorance, and this are most of the things that have been stick into our understanding. Say it doesn't enable us, and then here come I will use the word disable. It has disabled most of us to be able to elevate with the conscious of the mind to understand the concept. Say excuse me to say, Rastafari.
Let me help you with that. It's a whole struggle. It's a whole culture. Let me tell you something. Rastafari, it's unique in the sense that Akwakweti says Sabi. You see, Sabi, it fry for me and almost right? Omudu hono. First one, no, echo source, no, the 9. Also, no cry, you see, bagaya, I say on shada and soon be a cry too much. And some you cry to me trying to second one, quiet, no, Okoko saw the food. I say, also no men sent to me trying to was no yes, so third one, no corner so ni dear. Also, mean you are going to moody, make finger back up, say back, me satin cry to me trust. What I'm saying is, Rastafari is a concept that reveals itself in people in different ways. Obia reality is determined to them what they would define it as. But there's a central point. And then you have to call it something else. Once the concept of Haile Selassie, I think you are going to have to call it something else.
So can we go back? So can we go back and then check it from the first beginning of the starting of this movement, of this concept, which it originates and it started from Jamaica, being that Rastafari movement from this brother I mentioned earlier on.
And no, so no, Nana, and no, so no, my young can once same year. Not just a discussion, moving on properly. You can't say Rastafari started in Jamaica. That's a fact. However, on what most started Rastafari, what did they say? What did they point to? Where were they from? Omo started at the end of Jamaica. This way, let's structure this discussion so that we get the most out of it. Omo started at the end of Jamaica. These were children that were stolen from the African continent. Into where yanka say meow. Na sabi say ofa kwekuo efi Togo. Now the name called Congo. Still a kwekuo na noye. O the name called Belgium. Still a kwekuo. Into omo you do a free Africa corner. Thank you very much. Now see a man in here clear. And yes, I'm not quite to say yeah, open would say Rastafari no a foreign concept. Yeah, a fee baby nearby.
I'm very happy you and your mind is very broad.
But that's also sir, I have a lot of respect for you. That's why we're having this conversation.
Yeah, trust me, no joke. From even explaining what the broad, the disabled, and the way you digest it, what them say. you know what it is. So for you, I want to draw your mind. Say, me no nyina semba akuna na ye ka no. Na eye any ye bi aye nyina ni suban any abrabo bi aye nyina ye wo mu ha.
Dada. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And it was just something amma ne homre so bio. E hono na me ne wo ya adwen no. Wo hu. E hono me ne wo ya adwen but waso. Twaso mitio.
Ye suban any abrabo pa ye maame ne papa mu any society any area sin nyina expect say every human being should do what is right or the idea when you them and fe ye wunia and only what is called the moral or what has been called religion. So na eye suban ni eniye bia ye nyina no yenim say ye pese obi aye papa obi aye ne sefata obi aye good person. So we were advocating this living as everyday life, say be good, do what is right. And unfortunately, some of our brothers were carried away by the situation that took off. And then they ran, like I said, they don't want to forget their roots, being the same Subaimpa and Abrabopa, and believe say their roots and tradition culture tell them say because they are Africans or they are Ghanaians or they are Akans or they are Gas, they are Ewes, they are Frafras, they are Sisalas, they are all kind of tribe and language that we spoke in this continent of the bush. The Ethiopia's continent, the Ethiopian continent, the warriors' land, the people who were the warriors, who were fighting in the bushes, tilling the land.
Nana,
I mean,
for instance, let's bring it back to the etymology, because when we say, and American, we are a very articulate person. The way I ultimately word be, right now, finding the etymological inference, let me call it that, in the English language, that it's brilliant. But me, I'll put that more in the area of art, right? In the area of creativity, rather than in the area of fact. Because okay, say Ethiopia for why are they from Ethiopia?
This is where you lack. Excuse me. Very good, my brother. I say you are very intelligent, brother. So let's be very lovely and very calm in our.
Yes. No, I don't mind. Listen, I don't know everything. That's why I called you, brother.
Come to that point.
Yes, dear. And if you are able to tell me something now, of course.
What do you do? That's why I told you are very, very deep, brother. Trust me. Yes, from where you put in the questions and where you tackle the points from, I'm very happy. And this is where I want you to have time to listen to me, and then you get where the whole.
I'm sending program near in 2 hours. Then you're 1 hour because the rate at the call it that we need more time. We will have a bunch of questions for you. And told them a part of Twasuma.
Okay. You see why you're talking about the etymology kind of say I'm trying to use words and play with words and make it similar. And
it's not play. I didn't say play though. You are not necessarily playing with the words. You are creating. It's two different things. Play, no.
No, let me use if I use the word play, it's like creating. Because if you are
okay, word play.
Like,
word play.
Word play. It's playing. Yeah. So it's kind of that's where it's always challenged people because of what we've been taught and what we already know, which we are not trying to break our mind to digestion. Say, let ourselves go down to ask ourselves, say, Ethiopia, what it means. And then someone come out and say, Ethiopia means Ethiopia. And it's kind of similar. And then I realized that this guy is playing with words. So he's trying to make it kind of Ethiopia and Ethiopia kind of sound similar. So that is the meaning. No, as a wise person, then you are not, excuse me, use the words. You are not then going too deep or thinking deep. This is where you have to think deep, say, what is Ethiopia? What Ethiopian stand for? What Ethiopia means from the English pronunciation of that word Ethiopia. Because you can't tell me the word Ethiopia means hello?
Me too.
Okay. So, yeah. Every word found in the dictionary is an English word. It's not
But Nana
any
Meba,
locality
okay,
word.
entity there were more than 2 languages in the world, right? There were more than 3, and as I can, any brofo. To say, if we are going to force every word into an account etymological structure, what about the other languages? Because okay, say etopia for me imagine say meba. Okay, say etopia for me imagine be me say nature say yen na ye two Ethiopia for din yen ye from etopia ansa no bia etibi abaye sa no bia mo hu kan ebe dane Ethiopia. Eba ni say na yen akanfo and a two Ethiopia din. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Very good. This is where I'm trying to break it down. It's in a middle one baby. I'm do basic point in this one. Say, my brother, and you are very, like I'm saying, Ras, you are very deep, trust me. I'm just keeping saying you are deep from where you tackle the questions to me. And let's take it easy and understand ourselves. Again, the word Ethiopia, like you are saying, we have millions of languages in Africa or the world. But the African or the Akan language is not key. It's not Oligan. It's comprising all the languages of the continent of Kwa, Tu, Su, Du, Fi, Te, Pu, Mi, Si, Ni, Ki, Pe, De, Fe, Mo, Po, No, Tu. These are the tones of every living nature who uses to form sentences or words. Like English, we say S-O so, G-O gold, L-O low. In Africa, we say T-O, tu, P-O pu, this, P-U, this, M-O, this. And this is the tones of every nature. So when we are saying the difference is said, in the creation of this content and the nature, we have different 2 tones. One tone sounds very loud and clear and bold, which is the black, as with the people they call themselves black people. And then others sound very slow and low and faint, which we call them the Beleofoi or the Abrofo or the English, the English people, which speak very low. So when we are all pronouncing tu, some will say su. When we say ku, some will say ka. When we say po, some will say pu. When we say mo, some will say mo. So these are the only different. But the concept of the senses, yes, so we are all saying and meaning the same. Let me give you one etymology of English and keyword, which if you think I'm playing with words, go deep. Excuse me to say, I've been putting this in social media and people were playing with it. Someone who always patronize or buy from you regularly.
Customer, I heard you with the customer thing. And
so let's think deep from here. Let's think deep from here. What the Englishman means, say customer means. Or just say Obia is regularly buy from you. It's a regular buyer. And me, my own native tongue, which means Aname Mami, actually me say, oh, OPUNI, and AGYABA OPUNI, Debia, Odiga, and Okosoto Adiema, Ora Kwesi, Jalog, Bako. It's Oyani Kosuto many.
Yes. Nana, and American say, your power, me too.
Yen na ye mi the say bro ni o baby ni o yen na ye kire say OPUNI koso pade ma ras kwesi enti onu ntimi ka say koso to ma no because the tone of pronunciation is faint, it's low. Bello phonuli
Nana mati hona sepa.
So now he also is referring the same say. He is a word okosutomeni, which is say the customer, whatever we pronounce it.
Yes.
So I won't waste my time, I won't waste my mind, I won't waste my sense to waste say I'm going to by force feed the Englishman or the Englishman
Nana,
sound different from my understanding.
Matewa say. Na me omimbi sao. Customer, you can't sign one crime. Customer. So same word now. You can't sign one crime.
Customer.
Yes. Obi or customer. No, you cannot say.
Jale.
This is what I'm saying.
The word. Jale.
Yes.
Jale Yelilo. Somebody who is a very loyal. Jale. Eyo Jale Sunday. He's a very loyal person.
Okay. Good.
Who always be very loyal to you.
The meaning need to always be the same. Let's not get digressed because the meaning will always stay the same. But my point is my point is say now if you limit customer to customer, you are dealing with only 2 out of about 200,000 languages.
No. Bring out the words.
But that's what I gave you an example. In Ghana, the phonetics there, because he said we're also dealing with phonetics, right? Customer ni. Customer. It's the phonetics. Yeah. Now, if you take it into the Ghana,
regular loyalty.
So if you take it into the if you take it into the Ghana, if you take it into the Ghana, she say the phonetics becomes whimsical over there because it doesn't fit within the customer ni anymore. And this is let's take
time and understand.
Yes, let's do that. But before that, it's does every language take its origin from a Canada?
Very good. That's the tones. Yeah, that count tone. They're called to papo no miso to.
Every language on this earth takes its tone. A lot. Ninina, meba. Ninina efi akan kasanim.
Akan ye Ghana akan ye ka akan na ye achem akan ana tumase akan just say ye na bibupo na wiase na ye abodi na ye African for ye akan ye ne kan.
But we never ever spoke one language at any point. Nana yanka kasa ba ko da at any point in history. Africa for na yanka kasa ba ko da. It has never happened.
Then don't let us. Who said they tell me say we were speaking one language?
Never on earth has humanity spoken one language. Never. Unless maybe you're speaking about the early creation times. Yeah.
No, let me quote you from here for you. Mm-hmm. His Majesty said, Ethiopia have one of the oldest version of the Bible, one of the oldest version of the Word. Mm-hmm. The Bible is the word. Mm-hmm. So when they use the Bible as a word or a reference, it means that the word. It says we have the oldest version of the Asem, which is the one. But yes, too, it might be spoken in different dialects and different languages. But yes, too, the meaning remains the same. So this is where I'm driving you to the examples of how God said this, how I say this, how she say this,
but because customer, it lines up perfectly. But how they call Gamwa, it doesn't fit anymore.
Yeah, now you have the patient. Have the patient and listen. You have the patient. Give me like 150 seconds.
Me too.
Have the patient and listen. The Ga means Ga will say Jale Yelilo or Jala Yelilo. But the word Jala Yeli, they don't pronounce it right. It's Jale. A person who is a lawyer, who is very loyal to you, is a regular. People call that as Jale. It's a Jale Yelilo. It's always been with you loyalty. As a regular, as Okosu, or they be Okosu, Uncle baby, wow. So it's a lawyer, which the Ghana people call Jale. So the meaning is the same.
Nana,
don't worry
it's not the meaning. It is the phonetics. So say we're dealing with phonetics. So we're not even dealing with the etymology. We're dealing with phonetics. Meba, Nana, say, meba. Mama child me problem no more.
I say come there. Okay, sorry.
Then they be kasem o kasem. O say I say come there.
Now me say I say come there. Na yama wednyane.
Yeah.
You will hear listen what me. So all what you need is the meaning, the understanding of what it means.
Not in this case though. Not in this case. Debbie, sister na me feed desert so nana sister na me feed desert so by na me betwa hwe dia ene na wo ma me duane bi a me di. Enye sa na me choice dia. Se me pe fufu na me di. That's it.
In this point, this is the conversation. In this point, this is because the whole world has been indoctrinized with the same concept of say what I'm saying is fallacy or it's bogus or I'm trying to form my own ways. But you're hungry.
Mame, tio. Oye church ni. Ona wo try there. Me na me ba o. Ona wo ye church ni. Me na me ye osuani, right? Enti no me ade amenti ase no. Me busao. Na won so wadaroma watobo na wache me mu ye. Me dia me chen this say no. Ofa kosutomani. In fact, me say that me who dreaming. To be honest with you, of all the things I watch him money now, that is the one thing.
Another word.
Yes.
If you can think of it word. Now if you are wording, no, so if you are not way natural wording. Remember another word be.
Mam fufro.
Remember one or two words, and then go later. Okay. So obi. Eti wana waye din na onkasa na ne countenance ne kire say oye din oye very quiet person na Bruni can say sometimes calm
yeah
calm what your school fees wa boka your mama ya hwe your papa hwe say yentimi am pronounce the word calm and I yentimi spell the word calm yenye bia tinya calm ye de yentimi anka wa boye. But now you realize, so what is the meaning of calm? Calm just to be a way now why you calm? It's obi to me can calm. Obi no the touch man and to me can calm. It was a calm.
Okay.
Calm.
That's another one.
Now I'll give you another one. I'll give you another one. Right? Obi yesi wako court, right? Yesi wako court. And na uko court no asama eni say yebus uko ka upre wo ho na uko ka wa pre wo ho akoka and na we bi wa no asama court judge en kan no wa dey we di kan dey akoboso ye chi court say ye chi dey contempt, right? But me, my kind, Minyansem, meaning some as we as a second coca. And I mean, my premium when I'm manual contempt. Manuel di can't contempt. Manuel di can't actually contempt. It's like English man. You know, the Casa, you know, it's very funny. Yeah.
We're not contempt.
Funny. People have it, but they don't go into the understanding. They just go into the phonetics and then they laugh with it. So it looks funny. And of course, that's when the English say funny. It looks funny.
No.
It looks funny.
So I'm coming back to my question.
Listen, let me explain the word phonics for you. The phonics means as someone who can say it looks some way. So that way, no, na who the espresso, that way, na where the espresso, no, that way, you know, be a can say, be a yes, really, casano. It's everyone's language is a phonetics. It's a phonetics. It's English. So this is, you see, people don't understand the word phonics. So they think that phonetics means that a grammar, be a so special grammar. The Englishman, bro, any person just say, okay, say straight. Yeah, expression is straight. Listen me expression is straight. Obi expression is straight. Because man to me I can't work as a mudia. Straight. You will laugh at me because I didn't sound it the way you wanted me to sound it. So you laugh at me.
Okay.
Psychologically, mentally,
so I'm coming back to my difficulty because if there's anything at least me per se you be
always funny. You're all very funny. And that is English we say you are phonetics. These are funny things or politics. And somebody will tell you that you are playing with words. Ras, no, we are not playing with words.
Now, when it comes to this particular one, no, a fast stretch, Mami Kakra. But let me go back to my difficulty in the to say, everything you are saying,
okay,
then rests on two languages, English and Itri. Number one,
that is the ruling languages. That is English is the ruling language in the world.
That wasn't always the case. That wasn't. Hold on. That was not always the case. That was not always the case.
Okay, then, Raz,
before the English Empire, before the British Empire, there had been many other civilizations. Why is it that the tree, is not corresponding with, say, Greek or you can say Latin, which is a much ancient language?
The word Greek, when I explain the word Greek and its origin and its etymology, it will look funny to you. It will be very funny to you.
To be honest with you, if you can connect chi to Greek, to me, you'll be getting it a bit closer because it wasn't the same Brofo that was being spoken in Shakespeare's time, for instance.
Greek, and Hebrew, just say Hebrew, say if we have not saying that you waiting a Hebrew now, and that would be phonetics to you. So if the word is always phonics. So unless you are ready to accept the truth, which it makes sense to you, the truth is only what makes sense to you. When it doesn't make sense to you, that's not truth to you. So truth, no cranny idea atowasu. Now what you say no some Kenyan will and only no cray. Apart from that, nothing is the truth.
No,
when it doesn't
that's
believe,
not true.
Or it doesn't accept it.
No cray, no cray. No cry nedia ube GD. You can believe a lie. But let's put things in a proper perspective. Say obi betimi, for instance, Adolf Hitler time in the World War II, they had a policy say they were going to. That's what the idea of propaganda comes from. You can hammer a lie down into people's brain, and then they will believe it, and it becomes their version of a truth, not the truth. Okay, and no cray and necessarily the unia beka obejatum. No cray dia asia obia nim se atsem no enu nie odanie nie odanie to asem nie, right? Pneo asem nie. That is what we can all connect with.
I
didn't try.
I said I never witnessed the days of Marcus Garvey. I never witnessed the days of Haile Selassie. I never witnessed the days of Kwame Nkrumah. I never witnessed the days of my great. You understand?
Yes.
How can I be truth?
Nana. You know why? Beba, human beings, yes. That's why we say human beings are a higher form of creation. Human beings, your cultures, be your ethics, be your normal be. We don't find it in other forms of creation. Human beings have set a system. They keep records. They keep standards. That's why today we know that it is this day of the week. That's why we know saying that it is this date of the year. That's why we know say it's this day. And then nipa be say betray me. That's why at some point in time, meba me make a very important point. That's why mama make a point way. OPUNI, mama make a point way. Mama make a point way. I beg you. That's why even our ancestors back then, say hieroglyphics, right? They will scratch on the wall somehow to make it. And they more carve messages into stools and into our artwork and all that. We have a system, and at this system, people have gathered it. People have gathered with integrity. Anything that you're handing it down, ABC, and then anything that somehow will kind of you're holding it to fire, so that when it stands the test, it becomes part of that accepted block of knowledge. Now, I'm not for accepted as truth and fact. Because as at this point, you're free to be hypothesis. You have put out something that we all need to understand. Until we all understand and accept it, it is not truth yet.
That's right. The Nazarites, the root of the people who are vowed to be really the tradition and the custom of their land, like we who call ourselves the person. the days has come. That day has come. From the point of your intelligence of what you are saying right now, that redemption which our forefathers, Bob Marley, whoever advocates and whoever, to today, me and you also has come, fighting and struggling for the same cause of the truth, Raz, that redemption has come.
We give thanks for that.
And we shouldn't hesitate. You know what? I shouldn't have said this on air, but I would have liked to reason that with you on off air, because I said we can I come and pray. This interview that I had with a woman called Mami Grace on Revelation TV has
a very famous interview. It's made you a superstar.
Debate in the minds of our statesmen, and then early day night, the cause that comes and like the argument of how they should understand what I'm trying to know. Raz, it's marvelous. And then this is what is on the pipeline. How possible can this be? Because sometimes they doubt say it's making sense, and sometimes they think say no, it's like I'm trying to form my own words. So then they will call you the next day, then they will call you another time and ask you, so what do you mean about this? And what this word does that mean? And what does that originate means? And then when you explain, they will like, oh, come down, man. Hey, this guy, what happened? Raz, let's not, because the concept, any highly Selassie, it's not a personification, it's a character. It's not a personified. You are the highly Selassie, I'm the highly Selassie. Highly Selassie is not individual. If we understand that broad, what it means and how he himself as a human being, born from a mother and a father, from a childhood, grown up to attain that title, to bypass any obrabopani or sefakarana. That is what me today, me and you have to attain. So that if Raskwesi is going now, and you automatic when you can say, Raskwesi, when you say, hey, Papa way, only you raw sefakarano, me, no, Messi, I say, way, or no, say no. Because then I will hear Papa Kwesi to me, amount. Yimbier, Sikasem. I can't be or how bang. And then actually, so Papa Kwesi, you leave the infinite say, your way, in the best year. Which Iris Lassie, the name Iris Lassie stood for. It's like Christ. You see, that's why people are worried about the concept of Jesus Christ and Yesu, that Yesu is not true. Of course, it's a character. The story is a character. It's a story. My book of Bible story, it's a character. But the story is true. That is Raz. They say what? It's a script. Scriptures. And we all know scripts. Script is what is given to a movie actors that will be acting movie. Say my deed, the name John Dromelo, Mooney, and this superstar anyone. They will give you a script. And the Bible is a script. Speaking about we living
script is different from scripture. Two different things, but all the same. Nana, my interest some of Facebook. My interest some of Facebook posts, okay, because there's a lot to be digested from there. Who will be against reggae music being played by Ghanaian artists? Now, what's the problem there?
Wow, very good. Very good. We say we did point to Yaba, and I would like say meet me at training because me post to maybe sometimes I not even taking a personal thinking say I have personal culture. I don't know who me and him have issue because my thinking is not about any person or who somebody.
My
thinking is
if you say right. Even your own mother doesn't dance to your songs, idiot. You are definitely talking to somebody. And a general say, God to sing you idiot.
No, it's a general. It's a general. I said, I can't casa. I threw a corn and then I call no foul.
You don't call no foul. Okay. All right. That's it. But that even makes it that will come and peck at it. But there's somebody too will come where be hungry foul, but they look their corn where they see say waiting the days.
It's like I sugarcoat the corn. Ras, it's like I spicy the corn. So the aromas sparkle to the hungry kind of, you know, the hungry bellies. And they like, but excuse me to say, with no hard feeling, my good brothers in GH who is trying to make it in the reggae fraternity and the reggae industry as a reggae musicians, they shouldn't get me wrong. Say I have a personal issue with anybody, but I'm just advocating for the right cause because reggae music has its origin. Reggae music have its origin from where we know, say, where it always came from. And Rastafari, the same place, the same movement of Rastafari come from.
And I won't say, and they show you see, so no, Menewo Aka, you on that point, say, or more Jamaica, no. Ye for ya, muya bin a jomoko, intin so more ye bibia. Or Marcus so ubiso bian so our reggae or more starting in they point to say or more far free. Of course, with the R&B and all of that now moti already swinging now. And which meba and which now they still point to the African influence. The African influence. Okay. And now you cannot take reggae music and tell me, say, there's no element of Africanness in the heartbeat. Oh, my do shenichi, not on Namnas or Qua, or 29, the way they will bounce up and down. That is the track, that is the reggae. What I say, it's in our DNA. And you know, Mimi Fu says, so ufi him from as long as you are a black person there, you know, and will be so wootium there. Because you say, you know, offer me fancy jazz, for instance, me fancy classical music. I'm a focus school classical music. Bibini Kodaki, or typical school classical music by a maestro. In front of so if we can play classical music, why can't we play reggae music, which is our own music?
So then this is where my people don't get me right, and they don't understand me, and they don't ask questions. Now, what my brother do mean? Right? I'm finding it difficult to understand your post. And then they come like they come attack, whereby I'm like, no, my brother, I have not even conflict you.
Yeah.
I've not attacked you. I've not posted any. Yes, but what happened for you to just come like this to me? And then I'm like, wow. Also, maybe it's.
But AGYABA, let's face it. Some of the posts, it's hard to tell anybody say you are not attacking or whatever, right? Obi say, okay, one of them will say we will enforce reggae DJs to play 100% GH reggae if they really believe in their own showcase. If they really believe in their own showcase or craft. To be honest with you, this is one of the softer ones. But we'll say what reggae music speaks, high life music don't speak, right?
Yes.
What kind of like juxtapose reggae music and high life music? Say reggae ni cry yanyom yambon to be the high life na yanyom the yankon kofe no and I'm to say
which is a reggae camera and not a high life makeup.
Okay.
Because reggae can
no high life and there no crepa and there no crep.
And somebody will say one can giant in Rasta now every day in but how much did they read them about most in the reggae? Most of these gospel music gospel songs, reggae. Read them near reggae. Reggae near 4/4 bass play, and now 2/4.
Okay.
Right?
And so we be a new.
Yes.
Be a new. So we chemu I feel be a better say but from that simple one liner Facebook post, it means something different to other people, right? My share other ones. Say you said you play reggae music and you are better than the one who plays high life music as a musician. What makes you feel better? Minimo be about reggae feels or better than high life musician. In what sense?
A reason there, I would say I creation. I'm speaking from I creation, which
experience.
Is the center or has been the center of Rastafari movement in Ghana, who majority in the industry of the reggae and the GH dancehall movement. We mostly rally around and reason about our progress and our way forward. And we always advocate say we try on the high life, which is our root and our own and our tongue. And we always welcome the reggae music, which makes me understand, then we don't understand what music means or what is music. And because maybe Obia person Bob Marley, and I say Bob Marley, Bob Marley a carpenter, and Rasta Puni, and Obia way trumpet a carpenter. And you don't understand what you are doing.
Okay. Bakwa Wakaya, me feel say I was say your quote.
Individual skills.
Bakwa, who Facebook post Bakwa who post here, me feel say very, very profound. I was say your quote is one in which he says that you don't sing about your people, but you want your people to sing about you. That is deep.
Yes, Donna.
That is very deep.
You see, these are the things
you can't fault something like that. You see, yeah, you can't fault something like that. That is very deep, you know. But when it comes to another one, like
so, if we want our people to accept,
this one, he says smoking ganja and having dreadlocks doesn't make you a reggae musician. Stop the idiot feeling.
Yes.
There's a whole bunch of them, but generally, no utia.
I will use myself as an example because when I'm growing up from my upcoming as a dreadlocks youth boy, thinking I'm Rasta man, I was like, oh, it's about smoking ganja. I have to do music, go to the studio, and then call Haile Selassie as that Rastafari, and that's about. Now life is growth, you know. Life is growth. And we have realized that we are growing and have reached a stage, you know, we come to realization, say, no, that's not how we see it, and that's not how it is. I realize, not me remember, any days, me rising as a youth, me who elder races, last year, with that up and coming feeling, then I'm like, Rastafari, thinking said the person will respond in the presence of a whole multitude, you know. Well, achieving on level, be what fire or young at the TV level, you know. I feel I mean you feeling, name a ganja feeling, one rule, number high, number feeling, no. We do market public place now, I didn't go politely to approach him or to even in here, whatever. And then I'm like a distance and then shouting, last year. I said, Rice, and I said, Nobu as a decent and disciplined person. He don't respond to me. And I counter side, and I was like, oh, those people are not Rasta. Those people are not Rasta. But when I keep going to a certain stage, I realize, Charlie, yes, last year, and yet that. It's about doing what is right and knowing what is right.
But Opuni, doing what is right, no. Every religion or every culture, every mindset professes to do that. And to me, and I'm sharing this with you, brother, Haile Selassie, Rastafari is beyond but that's the spine. That's the spine.
That tolerance is what makes Haile Selassie attain that height.
But Opuni, in one breath, no, you are admitting, say, Haile Selassie is the epitome of all these things, and then in another breath, you are saying, say, it's not about Haile Selassie. I'm confused about that because what it is,
no,
they say.
Then listen, then you are not getting me right.
Maybe.
And then I want to come to point. Come, let's get it right.
Me too.
Haile Selassie, I'm sure say it's a character.
No, but Haile Selassie was a living person. It's not just a character. And yes, symbolism, Kekeu. And you need pankasa.
Then cool down. Cool down. Right?
Go through.
I beg, you ask me a question.
No, go through.
I know what I'm explaining. I know what the question. I know what you are asking, and that's where I was once from. And now I excuse me to say we are growing, you know. We come to that understanding, say and yes, sir.
Well, everybody have their own reality. For some people, the reality changes. For some other people, it refines and gets better with age.
And yes, said the name Haile Selassie as a person, you know, it's not what he is. Hear me right. But the name Haile Selassie as a person, you know, is a character of every living being to attain survival or to attain to by money, which is good or bad.
No, yati honase. A honey they are spending a lot of time. Yati honase. Me point me say, you are saying say it's not about Haile Selassie, and I'm saying to you say there is righteousness, which is a general concept in everything. But when we are talking about Rasta or Rastafari, you cannot alienate Haile Selassie from the idea or the concept of Rastafari. Once you do that, then you are going into another area. If you are now a comfort, if you are now by far, if you are now a different type of person.
When you come into when you come into the general fact of truth of Ethiopia and its history of Haile Selassie, there is nothing Rasta near that.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Because your name said Ras.
Is that what?
Ras meaning head, right? Creator. Ras Tafari. No, hold on a second.
No.
Maybe okay, so there's me too. Well, me make say, what say there's nothing Rasta when you go to Ethiopian history and all that, no. And I'm struggling to understand that. Because we all know, say, Ras Tafari Makonnen was a living king that sat on the throne of Gedemawi. Right?
No. I'll post. This is sometime if you go back to my poster, I've even posted all these things. It's ignorant to call those things and to say Rastafari is Ethiopian and Haile Selassie is Rasta.
Why? Explain that to me though. That's what I'm trying to explain. Once a BB say, no one can in a very simple way that people can connect with.
Yes.
You know, because
I don't know, and then the church say, "Yeah, na ye free say adiano e and Haile Selassie no free and crown." When the church say ye cry and free adiana say,
nana, because everybody knows that the land called Ethiopia, no, anyone, the land that has existed from biblical times, the first country that was mentioned, the first land that was mentioned in the Bible, Ethiopia, right? Okay, Genesis.
You can't just excuse me. You can't just mention a name. Whereby you mention the name don't have the knowledge of its origin or its
Nana, break it down for us. Please break it down for us. We'll say Oko Ethiopia, there's nothing called Rasta.
Very good.
Tell us what that means.
They mean Ethiopia. What is it?
We'll say Oko Ethiopia, there's nothing called Rasta. Is that what you said? You said that a while ago.
In the history of the autobiography of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie himself, who wrote his own life and his own progress and everything, will tell you, say, the name Rastafari is not anywhere.
But that is so false. Because meba nana, anything I make sure say, meba. O person say Haile Selassie, which we all know, say was not his birth name, right? It's a name that he attained when he sat on the throne, Gedemawi. So before then, his name was what?
Yes.
Before then, your friend is saying.
This is where my people like.
No. Let's stay focused. Now your friend is saying before he became Emperor Haile Selassie the First.
I'm serious.
No, me too.
You see, yeah.
Now your friend Haile Selassie saying. Because we said there was nothing called Rastafari in his or Nankasa crowd from the autobiography.
My main telling you about Chikakra. Haile Selassie, your mood was saying a name said, your mood was saying a name said, a new history of his birth.
It is not about the history of his birth. It is about the fact that there was ever somebody.
If you don't know the history and
but we know the history of his birth. We do know that. But I'm saying, it's not even about that.
No. The history be
Nana, who name say Nane Mame miscarried for how many times and Sana Yewono? Who named the history that he was trained in the palace? He went to his teachers' names are all there. Right? But Meme just said that it's not even consequential. The question maybe sound say. Yes. Yes, let's do the reality. We'll say there was no Rastafari. But Miminim said Haile Selassie, before he became Emperor Haile Selassie the First, he was called Tafari Makonnen. And a Ras and the title. So if you put the Ras in front of it, is said then yeah throw be me fan say Chum Berima meba. Let's make sense. Let's stay focused. Your throw be me fan say Chum Berima.
Okay.
Right? You bet yen and nana you bet friend nana Chum Berima. It's when your friend Tafari. You bet no hine no your friend Ras Tafari. It is okay, a Rastafari and you cry new one. Send a whoop patch.
Our titles.
No, what title? No, alleged Tafari before that. What does that even mean? What does that got to do with anything?
And you became the Damat. You became the Damat.
Yes.
And you became Crown Prince.
Mamemboa. At the time that Haile Selassie, meba, say again, I to adwin. So was so kasa means that meaning no me fa free. Definitely not. Of course not. You know, and I make a ebia me so or so no me ma so ne nine and I was on the food. Sir. Into I was seeing now you to me company. You know you're right. I say na pump na so gina to. Into we say W pepe. Until I say to me to adwin. But this is the thing though. This is the yes, but my main concern about who though with the concept of with Rastafari, you know, as na ye kana. Okay, say you need ne history and abibisa na. That is not true because you war recorded history. No, me just say your knowledge or honoma a war book wait me on internet so I kind history of Rastafari. You can Google him.
I know Ras.
Me too. Pa.
It's the Rastafari movement in Ghana and majority in Africa, no, right? Let's use Ghana as our example because Ghana they were yet human castle.
Me too, pa.
You say generalizing in Rastafari in Ghana. Why you a penny? Your penny or do what opportunity our Rastafari to the human Rastafari movement. Only why now you must say you need the concept, you know, or no originating free him. Why the young originating?
Okay, when the Rasta for penny. When the Rasta for penny.
Say
maybe so one air Rasta for penny.
Say the Bano officially as what has been socialized to the public. Yeah, they will say a Rastafari Council in Ghana and even in Africa as a continent, you know, is head by Daddy Bosco.
Okay.
A beloved brother who has been the struggle for very centuries. And he is the head. And that's where I'm driving my point to say, let's say he being the head of we and our movement in Ghana. No, where did he originate his foundation of the movement from? Okay,
Mamembo. First of all, a council, a Rastafari council, and you one single unit. That is a local Christian council of churches. You were Roman for any what Methodist, any what Anglican, any one. Obia were differences in doctrine. Obia were entina omoye different to start with. But omo nyina so say yes was spine back. Meba mama nusi. Omo hu say omo wo bibia omo nyina so ewo in common. It took a Rastafari council now. I bet today for say untimi nka say Bosco Rastafari nyina penyin, you know, you are going to go and look at his concept of Rastafari because Bosco were doctrinal differences with some people, somebody who comes from the Bobo Shanti group, but they are still under the Rastafari Council.
No, I'm breaking it down, right? But I was trying to use as an example. Let me generalize it here. The Bobo Shanti, the 12 tribes, the GW, and all this Nabinge and the movement of this Rastafari movement and the term, it's a term. Like a term, a guy named. Bibi I am free your advocating for political issues. You're advocating for repatriation issues. Yeah, advocating for social issue. Yeah, na ya free who say a D way. And I make sure say a dinner driving back to all across the globe, you know. A big Africa near the north. Some movements now by you know. EWF can 12 tribe, Bobo Shanti, and then I have been. Is it originally from our roots as we who are here knowing the tradition and
say ye yanka sana nipa kro no ane ye wa ha no ene yafa ye mu bi ene de yak meba because me hu me bia wo de ko no say ye nyina ye wa ha sei ena me nu nyina ya gya tu
ras nipa cho omo sumuno omo na ye bet omo ne ye ne omo life no na ye ebe boy bra anye ene ne ye ntie de ase
mame ka samba control mame ka samba control
ana ye de no de wo mu na no anye wo
ye wa ha
be yes ebe da ya dwen
what can sampa na sa se we no e wo say yetim se da nya tan na di eno nko ho nko ba mame ka sam tell ye wa ha e wo Ghana ho abi e wo Africa ho abi. And after slavery, no, you do so cost the way we are going on, no, pepe noir or minus sign or a land decided the tenor. Ofa Africans are maybe saying na yet if na say nipa bonphobia ba no maba chini pa be enumbi edomuko baby akosie baby akoshawa akoyomo boni bi ni ade a enti enu nti no mo anu asem ndufie ana omo kan omo nye efie hofobia ma ana. Plus check it. No, mama nusi obeti the American asi. Afen so no say first of all say ye can say ye support repatriation. Na say san ka say ya ye wo fie no obi wa bonten na no hypocrisy. Number 2 say obi etu kwan meba say number 2 yin na ye wo ho na say ebi etimi free mu eko baby fufura yin na ye gitum say obo ade no wamfa enoma fefe enoma f enoma eye enoma nyina no wamfa nyina ngu faako o ma Africa o ma ye bebre but odi bi so peti wi ase ena o ma ye Africa for na kasa no o ma ye ekwan a yetimi de fa so den etu kwan poko baby wo hu enti se bi mu pona se bia by accident pona ma kopie baby a me fu so mo so wo bibi a on betimi aye den edi fi bebi omodi wo ho no aba be ka fie de ne ho e me de abobra ma na yeye. Enti se kese ye ne atifie nti omo fi bebe ne betimi be kire nhwea e mistake ma me example bi o me ko Cape Coast Castle papa na owo ho no e ka kire me se bosom bi wo Cape Coast Castle ho na sa bosom no owo ho no dadaada ansa na ye besi castle no osan so kire se o se ye gunsa e ma sa bosom no na wo bosom a wo ho no ma watena ho ama over 400 years ya chini pa bet fa wo so pepepe susu wo be dia wo si no e ho aso so na ye di omo faaye. All this time, yes, I'm doing some out. And so, Nipa ya okasa asem no. Otigana ho a wonko baby a o. And so, wo pese wo che me say wo ti hunting de a wo ka che me na ye. And so, me nya say che me say wo ye bosom na wo ti ona so wa supervise the cutting of all these millions of people through there. You don't deserve any libation bia. I'm just saying. But that mindset say right. Obi omufia brochi na beba be kire dangerous on both ends because almost so wa brochi no so almost feel say Africa for no omo nim hwe ye na wo say ye kokko kire omo what is up wo hu it's dangerous on both ends it's na wo say ye sa discussion we no na yin na ye tell say Charlie we are pulling and tagging together Miteo.
You see it will raise and it will generate a lot of issues and topics because on someone okay and sometimes we always fireball Abrofo and we always blame Abrofo say they can't capture we, they can't hold me captive, they can't do this, you know. And we claim say we are the strong men and we are the great men and we are this. Let's go to the point where I was saying I don't call myself as black and I don't call myself as a black. Because black is negative.
Oh yes, that point, no. Shemu mami. Okay, who promises about Shemu mami?
Yes, you can't black. Say we are black. Black just at the tuntum. At the tuntum, you may know I can't. A man remuno. We shall the tuntum and you say I am. It's a case of trimu suma. You say a case of trimu sumpe. then it means that you have negative, you have blackness, you have dangerous mind, and every evil, every negativity is when we do it under the darkness. In the night, they fall on you, it becomes like you are exposed. So day is represented as righteousness, and night is represented as negativity.
Okay, and then day and night, they can also black. Into not just our part is black and white, as some like king.
Yes.
Mebo,
Yes.
Samai, meba, opuni meba.
We Africans.
Stick up in. Samai, the pan, the bonnet.
Samai.
Yes.
Samai as what? As ghost.
Yes, ghost.
Yeah. That is a name. And he have its reason. And what happened, and the reason, and the entire friend will be Samai.
But when say Samai no so no. Samai no you represent here the you can say fita any dinama Samai mebo.
Ancestor.
Any ancestor. Samai any ancestor. Samai any ancestor. Me just say Samai no. Debi. Unsa na wo ka say black no represent a normal enye and all of that. And I me just say Samai for instance. Ya there Yesro
black man.
Yesu so ni na Yesro Samai and all of that. But Samai so no ni nim say ya there ye fita. Yesu ni na no na anajo usro say be Samai unku bibia fita na usro say Samai. Basically, wohu enti no me no nya adwen say tuntum no ejina ma bibia.
Listen. Sa Samai na o kan no na ya konfo no mo bo pada. Omo na nanti anajo. Conform and nantis to my say, any young human names, Yakuma, the Awana, near second Fiadia Sana Dana Wana, who went to me Shia conform, which Yana Samai. But and that wasn't even the Samai. The name Samai in Akan have its meaning and how it is called Samai. Yes, and only be a little home. But what I'm saying is I can't black men, black this, black that. Black, that's why white man or generally, black or satanic is referred as anything black. So we even in Africa, we are.
But do you accept that though? Do you OPUNI? Do you accept? Do you accept that? Maybe do you accept that because at a point in time, no part of the colonization of our minds, and he said, internet words to say that we can black male, black one, blacklist.
Ebini example na me ma ono. Ebini example na me ma say, yentina ye ka say kwami aye ko na obi say calm, obi say ko wo de we say we jimi enti, wo de calm no na obi di eti. Eti calm no na obesa obakosua. Enti ase ne ne calm no enti ase ne say that obi we dey ana obi a wo review.
But nana, seka won't take calm na sia, nka won't mean relating it to calm crampo ana. Enti you have the share there can be nothing wrong with that. So won't take calm na sia. Enka wukra won't mean chemu and try and say calm any call me at the pro.
Very good. Enti na me say and not be say Puni alone or Opuni alone have that knowledge or the knowledge is in you. What is in me is in you. What is in me is in everybody. So let us be in ourselves and stick to our own tongues. The airway with those days. Ask everybody who used to be in I Christian those days. Papa Jai will tell you, say, "There's Jamaica Rasta, me a Sikala Rasta, me a Nagati Rasta, me a Sudan Rasta, me a Fafra Rasta, me a Dagoma Rasta." Because it was always advocating for us that we should focus on our own and be who we are. You can be Sisala and be dreadlocks.
My brother, that's a very good thing in one area, but again, no. That is potentially dangerous because it breeds diverse doctrine. Why? May say a beautiful thing in one sense to be able to identify. So, okay, me a Sisala needs, I'm identifying with my Sisala culture or whatever. That's a nice thing to do. But at the same time, no, it's dangerous because it is possible. It is potentially going to breed diverse doctrine. Because since everything that has succeeded in this world, no, is based on a certain structure that is accepted by the adherents.
Example about etymology of Ediane. How God called it and how Ewe call it, and how Hausa call it. And even if you know any other language, you can bring it. And how even English call it. I'm bringing you the etymology knowledge or etymology root of it. And it will look phonics to you, but don't worry, because it will be very funny to you somehow. But let's think of the meaning and the sense of it. Ediane is like a food, right? We call it in English, say food, right?
Mm-hmm.
I call it Dianu. Hausa call it Abinji. He call it Ediane, and Ga call it Nieni. Do you believe, sir? This sayings all no, yes to remain the same, and it means the same, and it means that it's an Akan word, which all the Abinchi, the Dianu, the Nieni, and everything and the food all means the same. Do you know that? Have we come to that knowledge of that concept?
How do you mean?
And you know, nature commanded us to eat from the plant, right?
Mm-hmm.
We should make the tree as our food and our medicine and our meat, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
So every food, every edible comes from plants. Every edible comes from what? Plants, right?
Not really, but go ahead. I mean, I know people who eat meat.
I want you to.
No, I'm responding. There are people who eat meat, so
the majority carry. Even if it's not really, the majority carry the vote, and we eat from the plant. Then who?
Okay, let's for the sake of argument, yes.
The majority are the plants.
Yes.
So nature commanded me to eat from the plant, as the animals also eat from the plant.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. So when bengu is prepared from the plant, it's from the plant, right?
Yep.
When fufu is prepared from the plant, every meal is from the plant. So when they prepare and bring it to you, they only tell you, say, Diana nature saying, nature saying the Diano, Diani, they can call it a Diani, and it's a Diani. And because it's good, and it's good, and it's food is good for us to eat, for our health and our strength, the same tree will say, same tongue as me. My brother, who will call himself God, can never pronounce ye, will say ni. Which means that he referring to, he said, this is the good for you. This is the good thing for you to be consume.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the same Ediane, the same person can never say Ediane as who will call himself as an Ewe. Will say Dianu. This is family Dianu. Wanted to pronounce the same as the Diani, can never pronounce the Diani, will say Dianu, which means food. And every food, when it's not prepared and it's not cooked, you can never enjoy it and consume it. Most of the foods. Because
there are a lot of foods that you can eat raw.
Strength of health. Most of the food which give us strength and health are the solid ones, which is the plants, and you have to be cooked and enjoyable. So they say Edianen are being Naji, which a same person like you, who will call himself as Hausa as you, will say Abin Naji, and they will refer to say Abinji, and today they will say Abinji, which is Abinji. And the English, which also is an Akan, in the same etymology of the same meaning. Also we say, and every food, when it's prepared, and you only eat when you're hungry. So remember, sir, when food is prepared and it has been served to the people who are hungry, we only rush to the food, their food, and we food it because of their food. So English we say food. Because you eat it with food in your stomach, with food. When you storm it in your mouth.
Some of these things, to be very honest with you, are very far-fetched.
And these are the phonics. These are the phonics. But I told you that it will be very phonetic to you.
not just to me, not just to me, not just to me. And some of these things, no, okay, it would be helpful if you could actually, give like a backing to what you're saying. Otherwise, it just sounds like something that sounds similar. That's all. Because, for instance, where is the where? 1 second, 1 second. Where is the maybe before I help you? You help me first. Where is the linguistic relationship between Akan and English? The people of Akan or Africa or whatever, and the English people are two very different and diverse people. At what point did their language merge and become? It just is not. Yes.
The linguist, the linking, the link, dictionary, grammar, the linking, and the linguist, the lingui, the link. I'm linking to you. My linking to you, no. My language to you, no. My link to you, no. It's the understanding, the sense that you make from me that will make the connectivity with me and you.
And I'm trying to do that because, for instance,
and that is the language.
Yes.
Listen here, Ras. Don't let me speak just like I beg you. Let me end here.
Yes.
I beg you.
Yes.
It's just say, language is not what we are speaking. Language is body attitude. Language might not only be utter a word. Language is a skills. It's an attitude. Language is a character. It's in a moving might not talk, but they understand where the progress goes. So it's not only say yakasa. So the linguist, I can't linguist, I say will be a linguist, they will only link it to say will be an annuity and will be a check assassin. And it means simply in understanding say what you are linking to. Because in the
so then what's the link between the English language and the Akan language?
Listen me here. In the ancient, we were very difficult, even to today. We find it difficult to understand ourselves from the link between our white people and we of the grammar of the tones. Sometimes they're very slippery and it's very slow and tones. And we find it difficult to understand. What if I bring you back to etymology, which we call them the breathing?
That is another falsehood because before I be share Britain for no, meba. No, Nana. No, it's not me and you. It's not me and you. It's knowledge. And like I said, no, ye wa no asem. Dia etoya sumuno. Ye the better body of knowledge now you want home, right? We'll put it to further, interrogation. Now check this out. Meba. No, hold on a second.
But maybe someone who is listening. No, Ras. I beg from you. I beg. Listen.
Me too.
You are the host and you are the interviewer. You will put me into that hatch and I have to vomit. Don't put me there because you yourself find it difficult to understand. So the rest will also find
okay. What Mami said. When you say something, I'm giving you an explanation why I think what you are saying is not on point. And in the same way, no am I saying because say. That's how I arrived at the fact that same way say. For instance, if you look at linguistics, there are methods and codes for finding the actual anthropological origins of words. Now, over English, any tria, and I say Akana, the English people and the Akan people came into contact at a certain point in time. Before that point in time, they were already calling themselves Britons. It's not meba. Let me make the point. AGYABA. Because again, no, okay said meba. So okay said. What's that thing?
If I contact you, I'll link you.
Let's not use semantics. Let's stay on point. Me say
if I contact you,
fair enough. But me just say, Nana, that's not, no. Let's stay on point. Okay. The point I'm making, they say, if you say, Said Britain for no, yeah, from Brenati because then you're brass and you're tia. That's not true because the name Britain, no, they were using it before we met them. And as a worker, it's assuming say yen ya two mudi in Britain. My example. So Ofa Bibi to say yen can is enkra. Meba.
You are the root of all sorts.
What are you even saying?
You are the root of all sorts. If you believe you are the root of all sorts, then you are the origin of all things.
So that means you named other people. You named Russia and you named China and you named Afghanistan and you named all these other people. Is that what you're saying?
Do you know the etymology, the meaning of name?
Brother, let's put the etymology and the physiologies and all those things aside. Let's use common sense. Meba. Let's just get practical. Are you suggesting that we Akan people, no, because we are saying we are the original people or whatnot, so we named everybody? Is that what you are suggesting?
Akan people, don't take yourself as Achimakan.
And yeah, Achimakan. I'm not saying Achimakan. No. I'm not saying Achimakan. That makes your case even worse because if you go to Egypt, for instance, Meba, that makes your case even worse because if you go to Egypt, for instance, it will not be the same. So that means that the meaning is also going to change from there.
It's the same.
It's not the same.
It's
not the same. My example. One clean example is here. Uko Yoruba Mua, right? They have a different meaning for a word like, say, home, for instance. If you Uko Yoruba Mua, a different word. What they call fair enough to you. Now, what they call a yimwa? What they call?
Where is your home? Your home is your resting place. Home is your resting place.
Brother,
you don't take your home as any other
it makes perfect sense. And I'm saying that when it comes to you and your power and your power.
Someone listen, Raskesi. Me say home. It's where baby I make home. Which mean home me. Or because say home. Because it won't refer to you, say, baby, I'll home, baby, I was swear, baby, I will take, baby, I will walk.
Nana, none of this adds up. Because Ansana or Mwankasano, meba. No, mami, me can't say material. We're reasoning. Because I don't expect so can't say material. No, I can say, OPUNI a kind to mami jintum. You have to convince me. Some of the things you've said, you've convinced me, so I accept them. Makawaha. Right? Some of them, it makes perfect sense. So I connect with it. But some of it, you are just saying it as if you say, okay, what kind of say mijitum? Other than that, you do a little more work to convince me.
I'm not saying that.
Because okay,
right
so good. So then let's look at it like this.
You are pushing me. You hit me. You try to hit me. Raz, you are doing a great job. Take me from here. You are doing a great job. Not even holding me but the essence of where you putting me and you hammering me, not even just relying, say, like you are saying, and I make sense, so I should accept it. No, man, that is not it. And you are doing that work. You are doing that great job as a good journalist and as a good interviewer. And I appreciate that. And I have to vomit. It's my duty to vomit. Like you said, to convince you. So if I say I have this in my belly, I have Bauku, and Konkote and everything in my belly, and I'm vomiting, I shouldn't vomit tea. I should vomit the Bauku and Fufu.
Basically,
that should convince you that, yes.
Let's bring it back. So what I am saying, though,
I'm pleading for us to... I'm just pleading for us to exercise ourselves to just understand the simple language, simple linking, simple language, simple communication between us. The communication is not verbal. It's not only opening your mouth or uttering the word, but the communication is the understanding, the essence. That's why most time body language can speak to the wives with no talking and no hesitating, because we only get there. We are in the realm. We understand. We are in the sixth stage.
All right.
It's like animals. If we are in the very great realm, we will mostly go like the way animals don't talk, but they know how to go about. And anytime like we will utter a word, it will bring fire, change, progress, development, greatness. But it has become like, because we don't understand the communication and the language, Ras, say you can but it's a very simple.
It's a deep mystery. Rastafari is a deep mystery, right? And Rastafari, you know, to me, even if you are Daddy Bosco, who is the penny of the Rastafari Council, you don't hold all the knowledge. But however, it's important that we all connect to the same spine, because it's that spine that makes it Rastafari. Yes. Otherwise, it's something else. That's what I have to say. But Nana, me there was CP your time naso. Mami come see her say, but the American say, but my own thing I will fear say, because you hear nimdie edia boy bra and nimdie ni bi wo ho no ma ensem ni bi wo ho a et say that discover wa ha no o kan wo Facebook a obi hu a no wa kire mu foforo na na dwen akoye bibi foforo na akoye banter back and forth there be empenisa wo you obi a nipa pi you say edomani sadia or suntakrache nebo
mabema abebuo we of our tradition yabebuo ni yakasa yekanyina ya chia nyina. But let me give you one simple one meaning of abebuo. I think say on your radio culture is one of your motto. I don't know, Sankofa, right?
Yes.
When we say Sankofa, what is the response that we always say?
Catch me. Medim say Sankofa de non say akase Sankofa.
Yes, Sankofa.
Yes, Sankofa.
Yes, Sankofa.
Oh, Yenchi, yeah.
We are not taking deep. At the end, we are all Sankofa. You go back. You don't go forward to pick what is with your Sankofa. It's a yes. Sankofa Yenchi. Sankofa. There
be nana me no nya adwen. Esan say wobetime gya bibi so ho na eyade de papa but bibi nti na wugya ne ho. Enti no yes o san akofa. Enti na say yenka say by force akofa o. Yes yenchi.
Ade na wagya no. Say ne waka ne nyansemu. Ade na wa wagya no. Say wo se wo kofa, wo be ko wani mu akofa ana wo san ko wachi.
So wagya no wachi nti wachi na be akofa.
It's now show the symbol of the animal now. A show say he's always turning back. Because everything that you left is behind you. You didn't left it forward.
But Osha animal nso nana what can say mo? My yin na so emfa ya adwene nko ho. Osha aboa nso a nenim Osha aboa nso a o face forward o, but ni ti no e na wa chia na kohwe nechi. E na me fi say nyansa wo mu ne say wo ko wanimu no e ma wo wie mfi dia etwam wo wechi. Sa na me neti asefa.
Ayesa abrabo bro. Who go when you are bravo na wakai say adie bi a waja and adie bi a yeka kire and animdie bi a ukai say eye nimdie no you remember to what return.
Yes,
not hesitate to forward. Yes. But you make sure that you are returning to go back for that knowledge.
Yes,
before you continue. So when you watch the leg of the Abua, it shows that he's on the move.
Exactly as my American. On Danny the Tiso or Konichi, or the knee can audition it. But in the 90s, that's what sequence or Konini.
Or the Necron, yes, Sankofa, and one day, wechi, someone tell me now, Kofano.
Yeah.
How for some of the child who child wise you're turning your head. It's your head that you turn. It's not your leg. It's your head. Yes. You turn your head first. Imagine you are going and somebody call you behind. You will keep going, but you turn your back, and it's only your head that you turn because there is something behind you, which is sign of our way. And you will sign what of
okay, in 2% say you can say I will with cheat and yenchi. You cannot sankofa I will with cheat and yes sankofa yenchi. Sana pesoka.
There be almost sankofa yenchi.
Yes. Sankofa yenchi. And I'll just say yenkani sa.
And yenchi. And yes sankofa or wechi.
I see.
Go back.
I see.
Go back to your roots. Go back.
I see.
Go back to your root. They are calling, your ancestors are calling you. Turn your back.
I see.
Don't turn your leg. Say turn your back. and you turn your head.
What can some? What can some men do? What can some men do? What can some men do? Papa, what company some? That was it. You be seeing, and then now Groundation. My main concept, so yeah.
Let me end, Ras.
Yes.
Let me end here for you.
Okay.
You see, you, Rascals, when I know you, but today I know you from the root, from when I was very youth, up and coming, seeing your struggle movement in the campus, all through I&I Christian, the movement and everything with Papa Jai and all stuff. Ras, Papa Jai is the root of all the things. The root.
Root of what?
Of the concept of Rastafari movement, you know. I'm telling you.
So then, what's the Rasta? What's the Papa Jai is the root of what?
The concept.
What concept?
Of we in Ghana. The concept of person. Say you bet me about rapa. Now your society now must see about them. We are not accepted in any society and any corporate office or organization. You know, those mentality, you know, someone have to break that concept for we, so that the society will realize that, hey, send me back Kwame, me back Kwesi, me back Opuni, send na the oil no nya abodam sem, send na yesane subaina na me tete say onye yesefata no, sa subaina no no just spend 3 weeks ana waja. Concentrate me the old befu. And no stress between you and emergency. Me name Mammy and Jack, me name Papa Jack, me see me more years me more yamidi, me more waging, me the Jana Mebo, me the America sorry, me the May say, yes, I am away now, my near Mammy, Akasakasa me bring and divisions, and it bring problem to we. Even as bring we to this point that society, like I'm saying, has not accepted we because we don't have morals. Morals. You need moral character. Moral entity. As you come moral, not so you need
moral, and you're different from moral. But
moral entity.
You're different. But so say why any moral? See, because Okan Rasta man there, he's the epitome of all morality.
You need morals, Ras. You need morals.
Why any moral? See, why?
Yeah, I'm not taking myself out. I'm being the first when I'm growing as a youth, up and coming with the mentality and the concept of what I think is the movement. You know,
me know your time now. So what's your call? But me take it and clarify. No, me know because me I grew up as a Rasta youth and morality was my pinnacle. Bibia me bia no na me who say because me a Rasta man no. Me nkoye bibi say. And you can say me any moral sir. I don't
this persecution. We all pass this persecution. We all pass this kind of interrogation and kind of argument with our parents and kind of hey firebone, hey pussy wall, hey we don't like that thing. Hey, if maybe I won't say maybe all of us because the Rastafari concept, like I was saying, you know, it's a Christianity concept. It's a Yamisum entity, Abrabopa, a Yamisum, a Nipasum, Yamisum, Nipasum, service to God is service to mankind.
Okay.
It's the service to ourselves. That is the morals, being honest, being justice, being truth, being kind to each other. That is what I'm saying. But we were thinking, say, yeah, one person, yeah, shiwi, yeah, I knew Selassie, I saw in your football. It's your mom who Selassie, I know, I bone them they are Babylon, they are this, they are bomber class, they are this. We were doing this.
We were doing this. Yeah, but now so we'll pick it up. But my catch I'm Ubiati be said. That could be your story. That wasn't the story for every Rasta man. Because me personally, growing up as a Rasta youth.
I'm not saying everybody.
No, I'm American. He said no. Because you said saying any morals. And that would assume say Rastas Rasta youth were like that. You know. Me.
I know most brothers are inspired, or through my lifestyle, they were inspired to become like careless as I am. And then I know how they brought forth, how they started, and their mind and the mindset of how they come from. And I'm saying, Ras, it's very pain, man. It's very pain. Oh, I'm not saying you know. Me Rasta, no, I didn't come from the street. I didn't come from the club feeling and the arrogant feeling and the hardship feeling. Say, I mean, me this year, me bomb me grind, me pay to me. Rasta. I was going to church with my parents. I was a Christian with my parents. Service to God every day. And I was every time reading the Bible. Anytime I come to a certain point in the Bible, it clicked me to this prophet who were more like a Nazarite, who were more like vows, who were more like if they live themselves as a natural people, they become more people. No, that was what inspired me to be who I am today. And when I become like this, like I'm saying, most inspired by our lifestyle, like we also inspired by most of you people, whereby we saw you and your lifestyle were inspired. But we're inspired by just inspiring, say, I like the way they dress and I like his beard and hairstyle. No, I was inspired by being you as a godly. I'm inspired from you being a moral and being a charitized person.
Okay.
Inspiration, I will inspire by you.
Martina,
I will inspire your shoe being red, gold, green. I will inspire your t-shirt being Bob Marley. I will inspire your hair being the long dreadlocks. I will inspire that.
All right.
So this
Nana,
is the lack of understanding.
Matthias,
most of us were not understand.
Okay. Matthias, yeah, man, that's
one. Getting long beard, getting long hair, wearing red.
Okay. Yeah, menaso, but you need
and that is Rasta.
Yeah, menaso, but it's unfortunate so when raises our issue way earlier. I'm a year time and discuss it. The man say you better find the time. They are shut down discuss it because that Papaja aspect now the bay no. Me shut down Tiasia Papa. Papaja, meaning Papaja. I knew him from Kumasi before he came to Accra and all that.
Yes.
Very cool. Around the time that Papaja was doing what he was doing, I was studying the earth still. It is okay say Papaja is the foundation of those things, sir. It's not one would imagine because I know there was Rasta before Papaja.
Come again.
I know races. I know races. I know races who were there before Papaja. I knew Papaja probably before you knew him.
This is our problem.
And to say, Bunny said, maybe can't say more. Can't be why identify problem that. Maybe they can't say no. Nana, asema make no.
Races were there before races.
What did they make Anasia? You understand what I'm saying? And you will raise the issue. Say, Papaja was the foundation of something. I don't know what your understanding of foundation is, but okay, it's a foundation of something. I'm going to probe that because I know that whatever it is that Papaja stood for, it was already in motion before Papaja trod the earth. And he himself, when he was treading the earth, there were other people who were still there before him. Jawutafi and all these other people, or they are contemporaries of Papaja. And somebody like even Daddy Bosco Yakra Wokana Semi, somebody like Bosco. When Bosco knotted up,
who have to be the motion?
What?
I mean, before Raspesi will be born, the motions of Raspesi's morals were already there, or the morals of goodness and badness are already existing. So it takes
my producers will reschedule with you. I should because I'm saying it's more packed than I'm seeing, right? Move deeper, just like we did for today. Why? Intimida was a power for today. AGYABA OPUNI, thank you so very much. I really appreciate the 2 hours and change that you've given me to get deep into everything that we've put on the table to discuss with you. Really appreciate your time. Listeners, this has been AGYABA OPUNI. AGYABA OPUNI is a thought leader. He has a lot to say, like I said, and today you have realized that he does indeed have a lot to say. We have heard some of it. We haven't heard all of it. Next week, I don't know about next week. I have to check the schedule. Maybe not next week, but some other time, we'll try and bring AGYABA OPUNI back and finish the conversation because there's some heavy material that he just released. Unfortunately, he did that towards the end of the conversation, so we did not have enough time to delve deep into it. We will definitely call him back to do that. In the meantime, thank you very much for doing the listen. This has been your Sabbath edition of Groundation, and we'll be back tomorrow with one artist to be announced on the interview level. This is Radio Culture. My name, Kwesi. Ja, beloved Baku. Before we leave, a message from our sponsors.
Radio Culture. Bena, Emu Aquina, morning doctor, aye appointment, Abra won't con a clinic homebo. Aye, Doc Palm. Bena, Emu on the doctor, aye video call. No showing him, no switching him, no show ya dear. I check your bay, Abra won't hospital homebo. Missy aye, Doc Palm. Bena, a multi-mission specialist there. No two for our pomade one, Untuana Mobia. Me say, aye, Doc Palm. Hey, Doc Palm, I can't Doctor Fokudam and Apomode me Fokudam. Nina Babu Apiswa, the Yobiano, Omode Besumo, Abrana Muntobia anymore. Doc Palm, Aquaba, Minia, or Play Store, and App Store. Net download the Doc Palm since here. What a yadem.
Yes, indeed. My name is Kwesi Ja, beloved Baku. I'm out like a light. We'll be back tomorrow with our artist interview and Wallipa music. In the meantime, once we clock out, you can still stay on this platform for some quality music. Till such times, you can also go on iCulture TV. Go on www.gnewsnow.com and straight away you are on the platform to watch quality Afrocentric television programming. Thank you very much for doing the listening. My name is Kwesi, his son, Ja, beloved Baku. I'm out like a light. I'll see you tomorrow.